what will you paint a picture for us of what life was like 12 weeks ago before the program, just in terms of specifically inside of your relationship, what that was like for you in terms of what you saw as a stuck area, stuck portion of life at
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I feel like I have a new insight into what life was
Okay.
like now.
Yeah.
So I think that I put a lot of power in to Keith in terms of like his reactions to me, his validation of me.
Mm.
Um, a lot. I really leaned into him for a lot of that. Um, yeah. And I also feel like I was pretty small in terms of the space that I took up out of fear of like, I don't want to upset anybody, or, I would kind of like have the conversation in my head, like, I don't want to watch this show, but I guess it's okay. And if, we'll just let him watch this show, all this kind of stuff rather than like, hey, I don't really want to watch this show. Or,
Mm.
so I really kind of took up a very tiny space in my life and I let everyone else kind of dictate what was going to happen or how it was going to go. And that would end up leaving me feeling very moody because
Mm.
not, I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. Yeah. And then that would also then lead to resentment, even though poor Keith had no idea what he'd done. But I've been building up these little bits of, oh, we watch what you watch, we listen to what you want to listen to. And then it's like resentment that would build, and
Mm.
then it wouldn't take much for it to get flicked, and then
Okay.
yeah, like it'd be some tiny thing, like he didn't change the sign on the dishwasher from clean to dirty, and now I'm so mad, it's like, whoa, it all comes out in a weird spot, right? But actually it was about all this other stuff.
Yeah, well, and did it have an impact on how you felt about yourself, or what did you take that on in any way when you noticed that that was, yeah, building in you?
I think so because, well, it was frustrating to me that I couldn't speak. So there was such like, I want to say I don't want to watch this, but then I would have the whole argument in my head and talk myself out of it. That's not very confidence building when you do that.
Mm.
It's very deflating. So it's a bit like, oh, yeah, you don't feel great about yourself when you're
Yeah.
not taking up space and standing up for yourself. And yeah.
Um, so fast forward then from that place to 12 weeks later, almost,
Hmm.
what's changed or what's different? Where are you at now?
I really check in now with like, oh, I'm not liking something. What am I not liking? How can I change it? So I can, I can say, I don't want to do this, or I'm going to go do my own thing. Cause that's another thing too. I don't have to sit here. I can go, I'm going to go watch something in our room.
Right.
Um, I've also pulled back some of that, um, everything I was putting on Keith in terms of, I can validate myself. I don't need him to validate me. So why am I sharing? Like I used to share a lot. Like I'd come home and be like, and then this happened today, and then this happened today, and I had this insight, and I had that insight. And now I don't need to do that because it's like I don't need him to say, oh, cool. And it was always disappointing. I never got the validation that I wanted, or like, oh, that's great. So I'm a bit quieter now, and because I hold it for myself, and there are
Mm.
moments when I really want him to, I want to get small and I want him to say it's going to be okay, and then in those moments I'll say, can I have a hug? But for the most part, like it's practice. It's still practice, but I for the most part catch myself like I don't really need him to give me kudos right now because I can give it to myself.
Oh, massive. I would love to ask you. So, if you were speaking to a woman considering this experience for herself, considering putting herself into the program, what
Mhm.
would you like to say to her?
Ooh. Um, to take up this space for you. This is what would I like to say to her? That there are many things in you that are kind of dormant that can be lit up. There's so much more. And
Mm.
this will kind of get it swirling and
Mm.
bubbling. And that the brilliance of being, just even having a space to be with women, and to reflect to one another and to see yourself in everybody, it's just huge. It's just such a gift. It's such a gift. That's been the magic of it, I think. And yeah, it moves me because it's been to be seen, and then to have people see you in ways you don't see yourself, and to say, here's how I see how you're amazing. And you're like, oh yeah, you're kind of amazing in that way. But just to have, it's so special and unique to have women come together in that kind of a way and support one another and see one another. And it's just been really beautiful.